the king of the jungle. Today, however, the jungle has gone and the tiger hovers on the brink of extinction. But in one remote corner of Thailand, the tiger is thriving, where the ferocious cat has been tamed by a handful of Buddhist monks. The lush green forest that once covered the flat plains of Southeast Asia. A fertile sanctuary for animals and plants that lived here for millennia. Thousands of square miles of dense, untouched jungle, sheltering exotic species from elephants to insects, and the king of the beasts, the Indo-Chinese tiger. But the tigers are now on the brink of extinction. 97% of the world's population has been wiped out in just 100 years. In Thailand, only 250 survive in the wild, in nature reserves like this. Protected by forest rangers from poachers and hunters, the rangers are lucky to find even a paw print.
Tiger.
But Dr. Somchai gets a lot closer than that. He's a general veterinarian with a very special skill. And most of his patients are confined within these walls. Inside is a sanctuary, a place that's become home to one of the world's most endangered species. It's a spiritual home and a business worth millions of dollars every year. It's a place of contradictions, but are the inmates there for their own protection, or are they being used? Dr. Somchai is chief vet at Wat Paluang Tabwa, a forest sanctuary established 20 years ago for wild animals. A 120 tigers now call the temple home. The monks say they live in harmony with these huge beasts. Their natural instincts have been curbed.
Please imagine this, the lands of the temple official now is 200 acres. It's like a big safari. From the beginning, I treat the female tiger came here on February 1999. So starts to be tiger temple from that time. And now I take care of so many animals.
Dr. Somchai is probably the least popular man in the temple. The tigers know a visit from the doctor means pain.
Meg. He know that I will do something. Tiger have sixth sense. Yeah, now he know that what I will do next. He don't know that what I will do next. But whatever, you must try and do faster that you can do. So this is the way.
He's trying to scan this 4-month-old cub's microchip, but it's not easy.
Because he a male tiger, so like he try to dominate any other persons, and he not fear anything else. He try to facing with you. This is not normal.
The embedded chip holds all of the tiger's vital information, vaccinations and parentage. This is vital for the temple's breeding program. But how did it all start? And why a temple? The abbot, Pra Achan Pusit, is an old friend. He'd asked Dr. Somchai to help with an injured female. That was 14 years ago. Back then, the abbot suffered from leukemia. As he prepared to die, local villagers asked him to look after a dying tiger cub. Believing they shared the same fate, he established the Tiger Temple as a shelter for this endangered species.
ที่เรา เราเป็นลูคีเมียในสมัยที่บวชใหม่ๆที่หมอเขาบอกว่าอีก6 เดือนก็จะตายก็นึกถึงเสือว่ามันถูกฉีดฟอร์มาลีนเข้าไปแล้วถ้าเราไม่รักษาถ้าเราไม่ช่วยมันไม่ดูแลรักษามันก็คงจะตายก็เลยดูแลรักษาก็เลยรับมันไว้แล้วก็ส่งมันไปรักษาให้สัตวแพทย์ให้หมอสมชัยนี่แหละ
Since then, the tigers and the abbots have flourished. It's not just the monks who share the company of the tigers. Thousands of tourists visit the temple every day. They come because this is one of the few places they can get close to one of nature's largest predators.
Generally is they are used to human being because this group is the group of the tigers that is proved by our staff that they have a good hospitality. It's different from tiger in the wild. They're born here and they see human being. A human being not their enemy. It seems like a mother, like a sister, like a brother, something like that. And at the same time, we have a person who the tiger trusts.
But the experience is not cheap. Feeding the cubs costs $30. A whole morning with them is $150. The temple has been accused of exploiting the tigers purely for financial gain, bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And some say the tigers are drugged, that these huge and dangerous beasts are docile not because of the spiritual efforts of the monks, but because of sedatives. How else could they be controlled? Dr. Somchai is used to these accusations. Accusations, he says, are completely groundless.
That is a joke, okay? You think that the tiger here is unhappy? Because you come here and you can see, you can feel by yourself.
And if they were using drugs, it would be hard to hide from the volunteers who handle the tigers' daily care.
Tanya is our staff, I think, more than 3 years at this time. So our staff and every volunteer, every morning, they will use this. So I tell them is the ratio how to use is 1 teaspoon for 1 kilogram of chicken. So 6 chickens in 1 bucket, so 9 kilograms. So you can use this. It's good for tiger.
Okay, thanks, Dr. Somchai.
Thank you.
I actually came as a tourist. I'd heard about it from people who'd been here, had read about it on the internet. I love tigers, so I was like, I'll come see everything. Came here and found out you could volunteer. And that was kind of the beginning of the end, really. I came as a volunteer a few months later and volunteered for a month and never left.
Food preparation is important. The tigers are not allowed to consume any fresh blood. In part, that's to keep their natural instincts in check, but it's also more hygienic.
The chicken is boiled and then the protein mix on top adds a little bit of flavor to it, a little bit. But yeah, the chicken is very plain because I've tried it.
Tanya also denies the tiger food is drugged.
I've tried the milk that the babies get fed. I've tried the wet and dry dog food as well. And I've actually tried the protein powder and that tastes disgusting. But the tigers seem to like it, and so they eat it and they get the extra proteins and vitamins and everything, so it works.
Tanya's other main job is to exercise the tigers. This she usually does with the other long-term employee, Jules.
Hey, fat boys. Come on, fatties. Come on.
Because of limited space, the exercise yard is used in rotation. The biggest problem is knowing who gets on with who.
Generally, our general rule now is boy, girl, all the way along. So right now here, we have the 5 girls in this yard with the boys on each side.
Most of these animals never meet the public. Only a handful can be trusted. Tigers are tigers, even those that were raised by Tanya since they were cubs.
Like, for example, with Happy, I've known him since he was 8 weeks old. He's just over 3 years now. I will never trust him completely. I'll trust him more than most of the cats here, but there's still, I will never turn my back on him. I will never give him that chance because you just never know. Like, if I fall over in front of him, what's he gonna do? You don't know, he's still a tiger.
And things can go wrong very fast.
And then when they get really, really mad, they get this green sheen, kind of like at night when you flash the lights on and you see the reflections of eyes in the dark. It's that kind of green sheen, and it's like, I don't know, you just see it on the eyes and it's get out now.
That untamed aggression can have disastrous consequences. Earlier this year, a tourist was petting one of the tigers when it turned and bit her leg. She was lucky to escape with her life. Because of that natural instinct, the majority of the tigers are kept behind bars. As Tanya knows, some tigers will never be able to mingle with humans. But despite the danger, Tanya has developed a unique bond with the tigers.
It's like, I'm actually a dog person, so I see them more like dogs, but I love the cat part of the independence that they have. And once you've got a bond with a tiger, it doesn't compare to anything, because you've got that and you know that they love you. Like, even if they don't show it all the time, there's that moment when they do show and it's extra special. When you're working with the big guys and it's just rained and you go in the yard with them and you can see they've got a bit of a crazy face, it does get a little bit scary, especially if you can see they want to play and they kind of stalk at you and you don't really know how far they're going to go with running at you or not running at you, and it does get a little bit nerve-wracking at times, but that's why we always go together. We always have 2 or 3 of us so we can each watch each other's backs as well.
A 200-kilogram predator being showered like a domestic kitten. But they're not so friendly with everyone at the temple.
Unfortunately for Dr. Somchai, the cats don't like him and they know exactly who he is. And funnily enough, we had another day, we had a tour guide come in who looked like him, and the cats all went off at him as well, and he couldn't figure it out, and we were like, you look like the vet.
Dr. Somchai does strike a lonely figure in the temple. It's not just the tiger's daily care he has to think about. He's responsible for the financial future of the temple and the tigers. He needs to make money to fulfill his duty of care and conservation, but he says it's just a means to an end.
If we have more money, it will be good. More and more, it will be good. More power of money, but we are master of money. More money, we can do more good action. We can more pay back to save this world. More pay back to do tiger conservation.
He knows the Tiger Temple is not a perfect home. He'd like to see his patients roaming free. But the tiger's natural habitat disappeared long ago. And in a modern world, this is the best chance they have for survival.
But where is paradise for tiger? You please tell me, where? In Thailand, not more than 20% green area. And where? And this world, where the paradise for tigers? Please tell me.
One day these tigers may have a little more space, but they'll never roam free. Their future is tied to the monks who care for them. A fascinating example of the relationship between man and beast, but far from the true majestic yet fearsome nature of the tiger.